All right, so we're closing our eyes. Closing our eyes, marching 100 total steps on the spot, right? Try and stay on the spot. If you feel unsafe, feel wobbly, stand still. Not yet. If you feel unsafe, feel wobbly, stand still. Try not to open your eyes if you can help it, because it does affect the test.
Are you judging if people wobble?
I'm just going to laugh at you.
All right, we're still watching someone.
Right. No. Yeah. I will keep you from running into each other, right? But you guys are probably a bit tightly packed here, so you use up more of this wall as well. Step away from the wall as well. Step in a bit. There you go. Okay, don't worry if any of you look like you're doing anything stupid, dangerous. I'll come and stop you. Okay? Hey, this one's really stupid. No, you're going to just kind of march in any way that's comfortable. You're going to bring your thighs up to parallel. Okay? All right. Close your eyes. Remember, I'm going to try not to talk from this point, because otherwise you'll echolocate me, right? So you're responsible for your 100 steps. Go. When you open your eyes, just stand still on the spot. He's gone walking the dog. You came with That's much right. Well, when she did it in Miami, it was like.
I did a whole 180. I started here.
How far have you moved? I know. Yours is screwed, right? All right, come back over to the screen and we'll talk about what it meant. So let's see what it actually means. If you're rotated like up to about 20 degrees, it's kind of a normal amount of rotation from the spot, up to about 20 degrees. Okay? Some of you are like... Some people have done that. The Miami group did that. Kind of, somebody turned all the way around. I can't remember. I think Leanne did a 180 or 200 last time she did it. Up to 20 degrees is normal, right? So if you've gone more than 20 degrees, you're screwed. Oh, shit. Let me go back. Oh, damn. Come on. I have no idea why it doesn't want to come up. 20 to 30 degree rotation indicates a mild vestibular deficit in the side of the rotation. So if you've rotated right, you've got a mild vestibular deficit in that direction. Yep.
Can you define normal? Does that mean most people? 20 degrees?
Up to 20, like based on the standards, the norms that this assessment was based around. Can't remember Fukuda's sample size, but it was quite large. It's been used quite a lot. And it seems to hold true for us in our assessments over time since we've been using it, that it seems kind of normal for most people. Like, very few people are going to start and finish exactly in the same place, right? Very few people are going to do that. Even just for very subtle variants of how you put your foot down from rep to rep is going to change that slightly. So up to about 20 degrees seems to be an okay amount of variance. 20 to 30 degrees indicates a mild vestibular deficit in the side that you rotated toward. So you rotated left, didn't you? Okay. So it tends to indicate a mild vestibular deficit. 30 to 45 degrees indicates that you have considerable deficit. I think that's maybe where the name of the test comes from. 30 to 45 degrees, I think you're fucked. Right? And what we're also interested in is, were they within about 1 meter or 3 feet of where they started, right? So again, there's about a 3 foot variance kind of built into the process that kind of says, yeah, that's okay. And some of you don't start them 1 meter from a cliff and kind of see whether they come off it, because clearly Leanne and Luca will be at the bottom. But several. Right. So it's actually a pretty good assessment. Actually, clients, every time we've done this with clients, it kind of disarms them around the whole. I mean, you saw yourself; it was quite good fun, right? It's more fun when there's a group than just one person. But still, most of our clients are nearly always like puzzled, like, how the hell did I get here? Some of the guys on the Miami program, I mean, they literally were like kind of over here. They started over there. They just walked all the way across the room. It was like crazy. I can't remember. How far did you turn the first time?
180 degrees.
Yeah. 180, right? So it's absolutely 180 is kind of built into that scale. No, it's not. Great test, really simple test to administer, but it gives you an idea. Also, look, bear in mind here, guys, that this is part of visuomotor, right? So kind of it can be pure vestibular, in which case you've got your work cut out for you. But more commonly with our clients, it's going to be visuomotor. It's the eye and vestibular system connection on that side. So just doing the eye draws is going to improve this anyway, right? It'll improve quite a lot. Next. Okay. So let me see if I can just play it up as this instead. Vestibular assessment number 2. So this is part of what's known as the vestibulo-ocular reflex. Essentially, the client will keep their eyes fixated on an object. So you as the assessor will be out here holding something in front of the client's head. Okay. Now keep their eyes fixated on an object as they shake their head from left to right for 20 to 30 seconds. Right, 30 is better. Okay, that's what the assessment is. It's that simple, right? All they're going to do is shake their head from left to right. What you're looking for as an assessor is, can they maintain the tracking? Right, you can actually start quite slowly, right? Boom, boom, boom. Can they maintain tracking, or is there like a functional nystagmus? Do you see that as they come across here? Do the eyes keep skipping and jumping and trying to find the target again? Okay, what should happen? Like, it should be a simple case. When we're talking about vestibular ocular reflex here, we're talking about the vestibular system and the eyes knowing where each other are and maintaining their sighting on the target. What you're going to see in a lot of clients is that even at slow speeds, there's like a lag time, right? The eyes lose track and then have to come back on. All right. Certainly, for a lot of people, as you pick up speed. Like this would be considered like a moderate speed, and this would be considered quite fast. But for a lot of people who won't even get to moderate, they'll actually be losing sight even just on slow tracking. Okay. Well, that was what was happening on the eye drills, wasn't it? Earlier on, he was doing eye drills, and his kind of little puppy brain went running off somewhere and kind of started. Exactly. Damn, I hate this thing. Okay, so let's just have a look at that. Can they maintain the tracking? Does this actually create dizziness, a loss of balance, because some people, even just doing it, they're going to go, whoa, I feel really weird. And does it induce kind of the feelings of nausea? Okay? If they can't maintain the tracking, if they get dizzy or lose balance, or if they become nauseous, that's obviously if all 3 points, that's a really good indicator that the vestibular system is screwed via the vestibular ocular reflex. Your job is to kind of find out what, hopefully they can pass, right? They maintain their tracking, they don't get dizzy, they don't feel nauseous at all. So what we're going to do now is stand up and we'll go back over there, get into pairs, right? Remember, fixate an object about 3 feet from their nose. Have them shake their head from left to right. But glasses off, unless the taking off of them actually creates a bunch of threat for you anyway. So you can still learn. You can still learn like what your vestibular system wants without with the glasses on, but it will give you a fairer assessment with them off.
One out of 30. I mean, they look pretty
It was like right at the end.
Yeah.
Will people start to feel it towards
Right.
the end?
Yes. I feel what?
Like a lag time. Like I could feel my eyes.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Also, your head turning range was quite short, right? Try.
So should it be bigger?
Yeah. Let's go back and swap that way first,
Okay,
right?
and then
And
go
in a second, come back
and
to you
slower.
and use your full visual field.
Okay.
Right. The full visual field.
okay.
So at points you can see hesitancy, right? She has to slow her head tracking and
Break, yeah. When she goes to this side, I was the same side.
right.
We went this way.
Just the last third. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's like you're good for a while, and all of a sudden you're like,
Are you moving actually?
Right.
it looks like it's getting What are you doing over here?
This to that side.
Right. And was
Side
that
to the next.
where you were getting a lot of your visual payoffs in that direction?
My visual problem is
Your visual
Better this way.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh? What?
It feels a little disorienting to try and focus on that.
Yeah.
But no like dizziness or nothing.
Right.
It's kind of like challenging, just to maintain the focus.
Yeah. Well, because for a lot of us, our vestibular systems aren't that well developed anymore. They're not being challenged very much with. We're not changing head position and right. So again, this ties in with visual because we've a tendency to, as we go through life, we have a tendency to actually turn our heads and our bodies to orientate toward the thing, rather than turning our head. Right, and using our entire visual field.
So how would you fix that?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Oh, okay.
But in fact, with most of these things, guys, the actual test is also part of the drill for fixing it, right? So actually just regularly doing like fixation-based work. And it can be on it. I mean, you don't need a partner here, right? You could look at a plug socket on the wall and just...
So that could explain why if it's constantly like hitting my shins. Or
Yeah, yeah.
If you see that they're going 1 speed and then there's like a point where it kind of slows and then speeds up, would that be showing that maybe
That's showing the vestibular ocular dysfunction at that point, right? So just bring them back to the speed where they do have fixation. Like it's better for me to move like this and have fixation as part of the. Because look, if I, we
Why am I dizzy?
my son, when he was about 2, he has a lazy eye, his left eye. So he's a 24 division on left and perfect eyesight on the right. So we ended up patching his eye, right? But right, like it's improved because it was he had a lazy eye, obviously. Yeah. So that fixed it, but now his vision is still a little bit.
yeah,
hasn't
it
improved.
probably needs to do range-based work and
The thing
outer.
is, like they said, like past his age, like at one point I might as well, or like now that they couldn't do anything.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Like anyway, we can fix our eyes at any age, as long as it's not the eye machinery, as long as the lens isn't screwed or the retina's not screwed. Like the rest of it is just muscular around the eye. We can fix that. Okay, guys, the next assessment is very similar to that one, but it's going to be, you don't need a partner for this one now. You tip your head forward to about 30 degrees, okay? Actually, we will do this in partners. We'll do it in partners because the other person actually has to kind of observe the nystagmus, right? So you tip your head forward to 30 degrees, shake your head back and forward for 30 seconds, look up, boom, right, and your partner is going to be holding something up there at arm's length. So you can fixate on it before you tip to 30 degrees. Tip forward, shake, look up. I'll tell you a sec. Right, shake and then look up. Like it's roughly at the speed that I'm moving now, right? It's about a full pathway per second, right? Full left. No, they're open, right? So keep your eyes open. Turn your head from left to right from a 30-degree position. At the end of 30 seconds, look up and fixate on whatever was the target at the start of the drill. Your assessor is going to look and see whether there's nystagmus or loss of focus or seeking for the target. You should be because you know where it was at the start and you know where you are relative to it, you should be able to find it quite quickly when you look up. And a lot of people, you're going to find that their eyes track all over the place and there's a nystagmus. Kind of you're looking over here, right? Yeah. Okay, so work with the partner. Have them fixate on an object first. You can go a little bit slower than that, just a little bit slower. There you go. Because there you go. About there.
There.
20, 30 seconds.
Okay.
Are eyes supposed to be open?
Open. You're just inventing your own drills now, aren't you?
I'm making up my own assessments. That's what you said to do, right?
Oh yeah, make up your own. The beard scratch is optional, Jeff. How'd she do? Fixing?
Yeah.
Good. So good target acquisition straight away. How'd she do?
Nailed it.
Yeah, she looked
Yeah?
right up to it. Yeah. No, it's me. I'll just turn around.
How did you do on the first assessment?
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Did you get woozy?
Distracting her. You should be doing your own assessment.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. There's like just a little.
I still feel the difference between right and left, though, just even trying to focus when my head is down.
You
Right.
feel it like visually, or just.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I
when
feel
your
like
head was down?
a weird difference as I shape, like I'm not able to focus. I was trying to focus on the knees, and I can't. It feels different when I go right versus left.
There'll be it'll just be part of the visual field stuff that we found earlier. So it's like that's the weakness in your visual field. That's where you're gonna have the problems. How was your fixation? Good.
I liked it a lot more when I went faster.
Right. Just because you got brain endorphin stuff going, yeah. You're drugging yourself.
It was kind of fun.
Okay. You feel nauseous? Don't. Actually, it's Lucas' floor. You feel free. You can puke. You okay? Yeah. All right. So same thing. Elicitation of nausea. Lack of tracking. Again, this is a visual ocular reflex dysfunction, right? A disconnect between what your eyes see and what your vestibular system senses of your position, right? So we should be able to look up and target quite easily. So in terms of training this back, it's actually really quite simple. Just do exactly the same drill in slow time, right? And even do less reps of the rotation. Have people come up, fixate. Right? That it really is as simple as that. It doesn't take very many reps, but what we're trying to do is train the eyes to be in the same place as the vestibular signaling. Right? Really, really simple to do. Now, you guys, can you go back to where you were for your first Fukuda and take your shoes back off again? Forward head, fixate on something. So find a target right now. Tip your heads forward, rotate left and right. 10 seconds of shaking. In 10 seconds, look up and fixate again. Okay. Once you've done that, take a really good close look at where you're standing right now. Close your eyes. 100 steps.
Girl, where'd you go? Where'd you go, girl?
Right. So, well, no, you were right over there, weren't you? So you've traveled about half the distance and you haven't turned as well. Right.
I got to get away.
Most of you have actually gotten better, right? Most of you haven't moved anywhere near as far. But some of you are screwed. So some of you, that last vestibular drill has obviously thrown you out even more, right?
And like
6 feet.
Who actually got better on that drill? Right. Who got worse? Who stayed the same? Right. Okay, so we got to try and figure out the correct level of stimulation for your vestibular system, right? But like regardless of what just happened here, all of you, like if you incorporate regular vestibular drills, it literally only has to be like 10 seconds, fixate, and you do that before you do pretty much any other work, you are going to see big improvements in strength, range of motion, and in fact, let's just while you're in the spot that you're standing in for a second, right? Do a left and right rotation test. See where you're at. Okay, great. Do a fixation and 10 second head shake. Right, so fixate on something, head down, 10-second shake, head back up again, fixate. Okay, once you're back up again, give yourself about 10-15 seconds just to stabilize through the vestibular system, and then try a left and right turn. See, did you get worse or better? Worse.
Worse on one side.
Worse on one side, better on the other.
Same on the other.
You got better, right? Right. So it's about 50-50. Like some of you have found the right speed and the right stimulus for your vestibular work. Others, you're probably still moving too fast for the drill, right? So now, take exactly the same drill. Like those of you that got worse, take exactly the same drill, do it for about 5 seconds, and do it about half the speed that you just did it at.
I got worse just standing here.
Right. Yeah.
Just test it again.
Right. Now retest when you're ready. Did the slower drill give it back? Yeah. Did you get more, yeah?
Well, I just did the test that Leanne had me do earlier, and I gained a whole my head and I lose it. I'm not doing these tests anymore.
I noticed a big change in my breathing after I got worse. Like my breathing's harder.
More restriction, right? Right, because, and again, that's another way of your body actually kind of letting you know that what you just did was threat to it, right? So it challenged it too much because it's pushing back up the threat hierarchy. So we had a discussion before about how it used to be pain, and now it's kind of breathing is your primary sign that you're moving into threat. And each one of you are going to have your primary sign. Like if you pay a lot of attention to it, you'll start to learn that you've got your primary signs for I'm moving in the wrong direction. Okay, so. But I think what we found there, though, is that when most of you guys slowed it down and you did less of it, you all increased again, right? So it's not that you don't need vestibular training, you just need a very specific amount of it, and you need it at a very specific pace at the moment, right? This is really important, guys, because remember, it's about prediction and response. What many of you showed with your kind of little walkabouts here, right? Well, is that your brain can't predict like you're saying to it, hey, I want you to stay in this position. It can't create those predictions and responses. It's going walkabout. Okay. Well, that is highly threatening to the brain's environment, right? It's highly threatening. What it's saying is I don't actually know how to make sure and ensure that I'm always going to be in the same place. Prediction and response, you don't have that, particularly if you're walking off like 10 meters from where you started. Right? Let's go back over there and we can discuss this.